Hi everybody, it's me Lala. Thanks for stopping by for the video. Today is Saturday, friends. It is September 20th, 2025, and we are in the 1 p.m. hour. Actually, we are at the 2 p.m. hour right now, friends. We certainly are. And I wanted to pre-record this. I am going to release it tomorrow, September 21st, and this will be our last walkabout in the back garden for the summer season. So as an adieu to summer, I thought we would take our last walk through the garden. And I wanted to show you our two containers here. You remember this one was on the back stoop for the summer, and then we have our vintage wicker planter here. So I wanted to show you they're still going strong, friends. They certainly are. And look at this Cleopatra grass. Look at that. It has just like gotten a second wind. It certainly has, friends. So sit back, relax, and let's take a quick last time walk through the garden here at Lilleybugglane. Okay, friends, you see we have the zinnias here, and we have the sunflowers, and you can see that they are starting to wilt, coming to the end. The goldfinch are loving the sunflowers. They certainly are, and we're just letting them die off naturally. We're not deheading or anything, and they love the seeds. So they are enjoying the sunflowers, and we are very happy with the sunflowers this year. Kind of a slow start, but we were happy how they ended up. And you can see that the leaves are yellowing also. And then of course we have our zinnias, friends. And of course they are starting to wilt and wither away also. Now you all know that we get our seeds for next year from this year's blooms. So if you see this right here, right, if you pull this, there is the zinnia seed right there at the end. That is the seed for the zinnia, friends. So what will happen is once these are all dried off, Chewy will cut them, and then he will pull all the petals off, and we will have our seeds for next year. So that's how we do it here at Lilleybugglane. Gotta save the coin, friends, even when it's in the garden. Even when it's in the garden. And you can see that some of the colors are fading. We have a faded one right here, and then some of the colors are still very vibrant. But zinnias are one of our favorite flowers here at Lilleybugglane. This one's pretty. It's almost ombre. That's really pretty. And we have enjoyed these very much. You know, it's a favorite here at Lilleybugglane. And then of course we have a little sunflower right in the middle of everything. We certainly do. It's a nice afternoon here. We have a light cloud cover over the sky, and the temperatures are mild. And last night, friends, it was dark here, totally dark here at Lilleybugglane at 7:45 p.m. It certainly was. And there we have a student pilot in the air. You can hear them. Okay, I want to show you a clearance item that we got at Walmart in Butler. Okay, friends, you all know that we practice secondhand living here at Lilleybugglane. And secondhand living is clearance and sale items included, because we want to keep as much coin as we can in our pockets, not in their pockets. One of the things that we had been talking about for next year here at Lilleybugglane is soaker hoses. And it's so funny that we had just been talking about it, Chewy and I. We go to the Butler Walmart yesterday, which was Friday. Today is Saturday. You will see this on Sunday. We go to the Butler Walmart, And lo and behold, in the clearance section, they have these soaker hoses on clearance. So these will be used out front here at Lilleybugglane to water our dogwood trees and our boxwood shrubs that we have out front. And it was ironic that we saw them. They were hanging in the clearance aisle. So I got them for $8 a piece, and they were normally $19.97. So that was a wonderful, wonderful savings. We did get the two that they had there on the peg. So we can either do both of them out front, or we can do one out front, and then we can do one down the side fence here in the back garden. But we were very, very, very happy to find these, because we had been talking about working up some kind of soaker system to water the flowers and plants here at Lilleybugglane. So make sure that you check your garden departments and all the different departments for the clearance items, friends, because they might not just be in the clearance aisle. And there is a lot of gardening supplies and a lot of grilling supplies for your grills, outdoor cooking. A lot of that stuff is on clearance right now. So if you have any kind of interest in that for next year, make sure you check out your clearance departments. Okay, you can see, friends, that things are browning up, right? Browning up and getting ready for their dormant season. All of these are going to be moved. Chewy and I just spoke about them. So all of these are going to be moved, and this is where we are going to have more hibiscus next year, friends. Fingers crossed, right? If you all have seen the Miss Hibiscus video that was released, you know what was in the pod, the mystery pod. You know what was in it, friends. And there she is. There she is. She gave us seeds to plant for next year, and she might have some sisters. So Chewy's going to work the best magic that he can, friends, and hopefully she will have some sisters. Now, as you can see, there is the container of the blooms, all the blooms that Miss Hibiscus gave us. Okay? And I showed it to you in the Miss Hibiscus video that was released on Saturday, which is today. Try and keep that all straight, friends. I know it's confusing. But anyway, if you would be at all interested, I would highly encourage you and invite you to take a guess, friends, as to how many blooms Miss Hibiscus gave us. How many blooms did she give us? Because every single bloom is in this container. It was counted twice. So go to the Miss Hibiscus video that was released on Saturday. Put your guess in there, friends. And I will reveal the number of blooms in our first circle time of the fall, which will be this coming Wednesday. So we're coming around here to the secret garden, and you will see, friends, that there has been quite a difference. There certainly has. I cannot get over these campfire daisies and how they have caught a second breath, right? I mean, look at how they have spread into the secret garden. I love it. I love it. And can I tell you, the bees love it too. The bees are loving the campfire daisies. Look at them. They certainly are. They are all over them. So we are definitely putting this on the list for next year. We certainly are. Chewy has our 2 pots here. Those are going to go in the ground right there. They certainly are. The phlox is just about ready to be cut down. It certainly is. And of course, all of the echinacea is pretty much gone. And the goldfinch are loving this. They are loving this. And as you can see, friends, we've got big bumblebees flying around, and we've got butterflies. Now, Chewy is going to save some seeds off of these too. So we'll be excited to try again with these next year, friends. Probably in containers, we're thinking. So another bunch of the campfire daisies, which are just fabulous. Just fabulous. It is a new favorite here at Lilleybugglane. And if you see how it kind of comes over the edge of the top of the wall here, the garden wall, it's just fabulous. It's just fabulous. And then, of course, we are still getting blooms off of our church hydrangea. So you can see the different phases here of the church hydrangea. You've got some that are fading. You've got some that are changing colors. I've got bees flying around my head, friends. I certainly do. But you know what? You don't freak out when there's bees around you. You just stay calm. Keep your breath even, keep your mouth closed, and they will not bother you, friends. They will not. And then look at these blooms here. Those are new that are starting, and they're kind of like this really pretty green to blue to almost purple, all in the same bunch. But look how many little flowers there are on that. Isn't that fabulous? I know, right? It is. It is. I know you're agreeing with me. So there, friends, is the last view of the secret garden for the season. So we have definitely enjoyed our visits with the secret garden. We certainly have. Now there's some real pretty pink mounding zinnias down in there, and I'm going to make sure that Chewy gets those. Then we've got that azalea back there that's kind of hidden, that I think is going to be moved. It certainly is, because it's going to get buried back there, right? It's going to get buried, and we don't want to lose it if we don't have to. So, and then of course we have our pussy willow that again, friends, is going through a growth spurt. Isn't that crazy? Let's continue on. Okay, so Black Myrtle did exactly what she was supposed to do. She did get up to the middle support, which is what we wanted, and we are going to have some stakes here, and we're going to put some burlap around to just kind of protect her a little bit and see how she does. All right, friends, here we go. Let's take a ride. Two of my favorite colors next to each other. This is an ombre one. Very, very pretty. There we go, friends. There we go. And we will visit the zinnia wave. We will visit it again. We will. Just in a shorter version. We certainly will. So we have our foxgloves here. Some of them will go in the secret garden, friends. I think some of them are going to stay here. So we have our black-eyed Susans. These are a favorite here at Lilleybugglane. And the butterflies and the bees are just enjoying them. And so are the goldfinch. So very, very nice. Very nice. You can see things are yellowing and drying up. Chewy's going to start putting the fall nutrients on the lawn. Certainly is. We're just about done, friends, with the tomatoes. And we've got some that are ripening. And once those are ripe and ready to pull, we will go ahead and get rid of those. Chewy read that you're supposed to wait for the first frost to pull the onions, but I think they're going to get pulled here pretty quickly. I certainly do. So, very, very happy with the yield of tomatoes that we got. We have shared them with friends and neighbors, and Chewy has taken them in for his co-workers. We are going to have fried zucchini tomorrow night for dinner, friends, one last time to celebrate the end of summer. So we have one white zucchini that was harvested earlier this week. And then, of course, friends, we have that one right there that's going to get picked as soon as we are done with our garden walkthrough. I will make sure to film when Chewy harvests the potatoes. They are dying off, so we will do that. You can hear the little crickets and different little bugs. We have our fountain, friends. We do. Here is our daisy wave. We did get a couple of rogue blooms, friends. We certainly did. So that was a nice little surprise to see those. And then we are moving up to the patio. You can see that the plumes are turning very, very light. So that means that they're... Look at this tut grass, friends. Look how it has shot up so high, right? And then look at this right here. Craziness. Craziness. Now we've got the pink ones that have bloomed down here, but they didn't shoot up like the white ones did, and they were supposed to. So we'll see what happens next year with them, friends. But look at that tut grass. Look at that. Right? Craziness. And of course, the ever faithful Mandevilla, the container Mandevilla. So we will see them again next year, friends. We certainly will. So very, very exciting. It's been a great, great year in the garden. Certainly has. Okay, friends. And finally, last but not least, well, no, we gotta check out the red-headed stepchildren, don't we? We surely do. The hyssop is going crazy. It certainly is. The tut grass is going crazy. It certainly is. Doesn't that remind you of Beaker on the Muppets? It reminds me of Beaker. And then look at this, friends. Look at this. Now, I am 5'1". Okay? 5'1". That is well over my head, the tallest plume. And these are on the ground. So they're not elevated at all. You tell me That is not some sort of garden crazy, right? I know, friends. Look at that. And we still have new plumes coming out of the plume grass, friends. Now this is an annual. So, but we have certainly enjoyed this. And if you are not familiar with the plume grass, friends, I would highly recommend it in your gardens for next year. I certainly would. And of course, last but not least, the redheaded stepchild corner, right? Not sorry. We have our sunset African daisies, which seem to be blooming a little bit, so that's a good sign. We've got a couple of the purple African daisies blooming, and then we do have the citronella, which was a huge hit here at Lilleybugglane. We really liked it, and we are just letting it naturally die off. It is an annual, so we will enjoy that next year. We certainly will. So thank you all so much for joining me each week as we took a walk through the garden, the back garden here at Lilleybugglane, and kept abreast of everything that was happening in the garden, the successes, the failures, you know, the disappointments that we had, the things that we are going to continue, the things that we are not going to continue. I certainly do appreciate it very much. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know if your gardens are starting to wind down also, and what you are looking forward to next year in your gardens. Make sure your notification bell's on for the channel so you know when I upload a video, we go live, or I post something on the community post page. Are we ready, friends? I think we're ready. I hope you are happy. I hope you are happy. I hope you are healthy. Take your zinc every day. It is up to us, friends. Let's all say it together. Healthy people are not profitable. And I hope you are safe. I certainly do. Know the weather in your area so you can be prepared and not scared. Check out Max Velocity on YouTube to know the weather that is expected in your area. I think of you all often. You are never far in my thoughts, and we, friends, will be together again soon. Happy Sunday.